Hey everybody, my name is Spencer, and in this sponsored video, I'm going to tell you about Color Code, a party game about codes of color, from game studio Chili Island, with Queen Games acting as publishing partner. And speaking of partners, I have over 2,200 of them. Yes, I consider my subscribers my partners. And you may be thinking, wow, how does a channel of this quality only have 2,200 subscribers? And to that I would say, I ask myself that every day. You can help boost those numbers, though, by subscribing to the Lighten Up initiative and by sharing the channel with everyone you know and love. And hate. Appreciate ya. Color Code is a fairly simple party game for 2 to 6 players, though the rules describe a way to play with up to 18 people. Side note, if you are ever able to play the game with 18 people, you are asked to send in a picture of proof to Chili Island. Now, this is a cooperative game. No team versus team, no one versus many. Everybody is working together. Unlike the US Congress, am I right? The idea is to attempt to get a feeling for the color associations of your fellow players by using intuition, empathy, and general knowledge about them in order to crack their color code. Now, there's a basic way to play the game, and then there are a few variants you can mix in. I'll get to those in a minute, but first, here's how the game works. You've got 8 circle tiles of various colors and 8 cards of the matching colors. Then there's a display board and a color code board. And over 100 word cards, including a few blank ones for you to add your own words, like goiter, baby bump, or smear. Going around the table, players take turns being the color coder. This person will reveal 3 random word cards and place them on the display board for all players to see. They will then take a moment, look at the words, and secretly choose a color that they think best represents each word. They might associate the word surfing with blue, pancake with brown, and goiter with green. Ideally, the color coder actually wants the team to guess correctly, because correct guesses earn points, believe it or not. So personal feelings and association should guide their decisions, as well as how the teammates may think the color coder thinks. But what if the teammates think that the color coder will anticipate that they will think like the team thinks they will think, so then they choose the color based off of that? Not as easy as it may sound. They'll assign the cards of their chosen colors to the designated slot for each word. Again, this is done secretly, so no one else should know what they've just put down. Now the real fun begins. Led by the person to the right of the color coder, the color master, the team begins discussing how they think the coder assigned the colors. The color master also has final say if the team cannot reach an agreement. I wish I had somebody like that in my family for when we're trying to decide where to eat. We'd get at least an hour and a half of our lives back each time we go out. Meanwhile, the color coder cannot give any hint whatsoever as to what the correct answers are. If you can't hold a straight face, you may need to leave the room. It might be the perfect time to decide where y'all should order food from. At least get the process started. There's no time limit to the discussions, though you may want to implement one if you find that it's taking too long to decide on an answer. Whether you all agree on a color, or the color master is forced to make the choice, they will then place the color discs into the round slots next to the words. Once colors are locked in, the color coder reveals the 3 cards one at a time as dramatically as they'd like. Everyone then reacts accordingly, high-fiving if the matches were correct, or devolving into various renditions of "I told you so," or "I hate you and your mother," if incorrect. To score, you'll take each card that was guessed correctly, if any, and place them face down next to the edges of the color code board. Each level from 1 to 6 needs 2 successes assigned to it before you can begin assigning to the next level. For example, if you get all 3 words correct in the first round, you'd have 2 cards at level 1 and 1 card at level 2. The game will then continue in a new round, with the display board and color cards being passed to the player on the left, thus becoming the new color coder, and the color discs are passed to the previous color coder, who now becomes the new color master. Once you've worked through your stack of cards randomly drawn at the beginning of the game, you look at the highest level you've reached on the color code board and receive your score from the breakdown in the rulebook. Notice that you can somehow get better than perfect performance if you're able to assign more than 2 cards to level 6. So that's color code. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a few alternate ways to play, all of which may be added in separately or all at once. If you need a little bit of help, you can use the available special tiles. Each one can only be used once per word. The insider tile lets the color coder pick one player to give a hint to. With the color filter tile, the color coder can reveal one of the colors they did not use, helping to narrow down the choices. Finally, there's the 50-50 tile. This allows players to place 2 color tiles next to one word to increase their chances of getting it right. Now, players can also use these colorful bonus tiles. This allows the team to bet on their answers. By placing one of these tiles next to a final answer, players are saying they really think that it's correct. If right, they'll get to add the card and the tile to the edge of the color code board, thus helping them move up to the next level more quickly. If you think the game is too easy and are ready for a greater challenge, try this variant. The color coder must wear a blindfold when they select and place their color cards. Just kidding, I made that up. You can, however, add more colors into the mix, providing other options and thus making the team a little less certain of their answers. Each time one of the first 3 levels are reached, the team decides which color, purple, pink, or orange, to begin using in the next round. And that's about all there is to color code. I must admit, when I first read the rulebook, I wasn't expecting much from the game, but after playing, I realized that while the rules are light, the game can get pretty interesting. Now, the enjoyment of this game is going to be totally based on your group. I know that's pretty much the case with most games, but still, your experience will vary quite a bit from group to group. That's especially the case if you play with people you don't know very well. So, I've played color code with my family and at a friend's birthday party. In my family is me, my wife Laura, 8-year-old Emma, and 5-year-old Jane. Now the box says the suggested age is 14 and up, but really, we had a ton of fun. We did remove some cards that we didn't want to have to explain. I mean, can you imagine stopping a lighthearted game to explain to an 8 and 5-year-old what a dictator is? Also, we'd read the cards to Jane since she's not quite an expert yet. Otherwise, the game worked great. The girls laughed so much, and they kept wanting to play it again and again. It's especially interesting when Jane is the color coder. No matter what you think she's going to choose, it's always wrong. And her reasoning behind each of the answers is hilarious. At the birthday party, we had to play the large group variant because we had 9 players, but it worked just as well. The group had a fantastic time, lots of fun discussions, and agonizing decisions. I think most fans of party games are going to enjoy color code. If you're looking to add another group game to your collection, or if this is your first party game, color code is a great option. Speaking of great options, if you're watching this, you selected the right option. There I go again, king of transitions. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about color code or want to know why I refuse to wear a toupee, please feel free to drop me a comment below. Until next time, don't take the board game hobby too seriously. Just lighten up.